Good. So we're talking about our 2021 physical year. This is our rating for basically year before last. And so it talks about how the first rating was created, and it talks about first rating gives us our not only our financial, it talks about how the school district's doing overall. And there's four ratings: superior, above standard, meet standard, and substandard achievement. I'm glad to report that based on, we had 20 questions out of 20. We received a perfect score in all of them, but one, we've received 8 out of 10 points. And so this year, we still received a superior and a 98 score out of 100, which is very good. Last 5 years, we had 100, but this year we have a 98. And I think overall the school district did very good. We're in great financial condition. I'm glad to report we will continue that tradition of doing very well on our first reading. And so that kind of tells overall what we have, and I'm open for any questions. Yeah, it's Britt City ISD is doing great, so financially. Thank you.
Okay, so October is National Principals Month. You can look back there and we have no principals here. That was part of National Principals Month. We give them a night off tonight. We also have, at the high school right now going on, we have open house. We've got burning of the letters tonight that Tim's getting ready for. Grady will be doing some, audiovisual stuff at that. So they've got some other things they can be doing tonight. So I told them to go do that. Dr. Fountain last week, if you look on, you'll see his page with a bunch of pictures in your book. Dr. Fountain last week really spoiled these guys and took good care of them. We have great campus leadership. I told them today that we're only as good as our campus leadership. That's where the rubber meets the road, and I could not be more proud of the principals and the assistant principals, the teams they put together, and thank Dr. Fountain for that recognition last week. I mean, they got something every day of the week, and really they need something every day of the year. Everybody does, but they did get an entire week, and I know they were thankful for that recognition, and wanted to, even though they're not here tonight, I wanted to say something about them tonight. Dr. Fountain, do you have anything to add to that? So when you see them, you'll see them sometime this month. If not this month, you'll see them. Just give them a pat on the back and let them know you appreciate all they're doing for us. They do a wonderful job leading our kids, leading our campuses and our teachers. So thank you for our friends.
Good evening. How are y'all? Good. I am so excited to be here tonight to tell you that our golf tournament raised over $8,000 on Saturday. So we are so excited. We appreciate the effort of each one of you, whether you got a team or a sponsorship, a tee box sign, whatever it was you did to help us be successful. We are so appreciative. It was a gorgeous day out on the golf course. All the teams we ended up with 18 registered and paid teams. Only 14 of them showed up, but hey, we got the others money. There was no refunds, and so we were happy. But 14 showed up, and every one of them had a terrific time. We had great food sponsored by Judices. Al brought out some links and some boudin. We had breakfast sponsored by RT1. And so it was just an exceptional day overall. And so we're very, very pleased to do over $8,000 on our first tournament. So we're excited about that. We we did National Night Out, and so we think that was a great. We had a little photo booth with the prop with the little cardinal, and we borrowed from the elementary school. Thank you very much. And we had our little cardinal out there, and so that came out really well. And got some more followers on our Facebook page from that, and so we're excited about that. We will be doing Christmas in the park, and so we'll have our Grinch punch again and some hot chocolate. Hopefully, it'll be cold this year and not hot like it was last year, but the Grinch punch was a hit. Our next big fundraiser will be a clay shoot on May the 20th. And so we are hoping to throw in maybe another little fundraiser, and our goal is to have $20,000 to give away in the fall of next year. So double what we did this year. So we're excited, and we think we're well on our way to that. So um, I'm enlisting Kathy Riley, as y'all know, that since she's retired, she has joined our foundation board. And so we're very excited about that. And so I'm enlisting Kathy to help with some grant writing. Because who else better than an English teacher? So I'm excited to have her on there with me, and hopefully we can start working on some really big grants. But our goal is to raise enough to do 20,000 in the fall, just if we don't get anything else from large grants. So, any questions? We're doing an article in the Penny Record, another thing I've enlisted Kathy to help me do. So hopefully just to showcase the foundation, and then also our golf tournament and the recent grants that we did give away. So if you haven't taken a look at the website, it is live. So hopefully you were able to take a look at that, and it looks really nice. And we'll be putting up all the golf tournament stuff this week. So questions? Thank you. We just continue to be blessed by your support and the things that we're going to be able to do for our kids in the district. Shout out to Mr. Achenbach, I think is how you say his name. He has already posted the 3D printer, of which we were part of that grant. What an incredible thing to be able to share from the foundation, seeing our money already at work. It's just absolutely incredible to see those kids building that 3D printer and that we were a part of it. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you. Mr. Will, as Mr. Will comes up, I'll tell you, I got Mark Castro, who's our superintendent here on site, and I've got his update. So select fill, building pad is completed, the piers, that's all been completed. The forms have been installed, underground electrical and plumbing has been completed. And they'll be grading out the slab and digging grade beams this week, have termite treatment completed. And then they will have the vapor barrier and steel installed and the slab poured by November 1st. And they plan on beginning the erection of the building on November 10th. So, Mr. Will, with your update that you.
Well, I've got pictures, but you just gave it, Dr. Kelly, so I can sit down now. No, you're good. I mean, there's been a lot of progress over the past month. Since the last board meeting, we completed that subsurface survey and identified 2 locations where the designed pier locations were in conflict with an underground electric line and an underground communications line. So those conflicts have been remedied. We've relocated those piers so that they will not be in conflict. So as Dr. Kelly mentioned on the schedule, we'll be seeing the grade beams being excavated shortly with rebar going in, vapor barriers. Concrete slab will be poured, and you'll start seeing steel go up before next board meeting. So that should be pretty exciting. On the other projects, on the bond projects here, our A&E team, we had our kickoff meeting to begin the actual construction documents phase of those two projects. We met with our overall team up in Dallas on the 3rd of this month. And so we kicked off those projects with the civil engineers, structural engineers, mechanical engineers to get those working. So we're targeting, we're releasing progress sets before we get to the final version of the construction document. So we're releasing progress sets at 35% completion, 65% completion, and 95% completion for each one of those. The 35% completion set for the CTE edition at the high school is going to be ready on the 28th of this month. So just about in a week and a half here. And then the 35% on the middle school will be released on November 8th. And at those times, when those plans are ready, then they'll be internally circulated. They'll be delivered here to the district as well as to the contractors so they can start looking at pricing, making sure that everything is on track. Any questions?
Appreciate your bar graph here.
That- Very good. Well, hopefully that's helpful. And if there's anything I can add that will just help update you guys better, happy to do it. We'll have another target besides pouring the slab for the next board meeting.
Real slow. Keep it where it's at.
Agenda item 8 is finance, information item is on page 62 for superintendent's donation.
All right, page 62, Bridge City High School Athletics has received a donation of $353.72 from the Booster Club to go towards the reimbursement of funds spent for U-Haul rentals. That's just an information item. There's one board approved donation, 2 pages behind that on 64. There are 2 of them, I guess. Bridge City High School has received $10,000 from Dow Chemical to go towards CTE STEM bus project. And Bridge City High School Athletics has received a donation of $11,200 from the Booster Club to help pay for new football uniforms. I think they're already wearing them. The red jersey.
I need a motion to, give a motion, second, any discussion for the regulations for that. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Passes. Item is instruction on page 67.
Okay. All 4 of these items kind of go together, information items on page 67, 68, Bridge City High School model UN team. So it basically, and then you see the email on page 67 where Rachel Hammerly put in a request to begin a model UN club. And when they put in a club at the high school, they develop a little handbook so that what they included behind is just their handbook for the UN club that they'd like to start. And then you go to page 72, and that's our annual ESL bilingual 21-22 program evaluation. And you can see the number of students enrolled in ESL, how many parent denials, how many are being monitored, students reclassified for 21-22, and then 21-22 employees certified, 38 classroom ESL certified, 1 ESL bilingual certified, 2 classroom support ESL certified, and 2 administrators. And then the next, page 73 is our extended school year evaluations. You can see that BCISD holds an elementary-based extended school year and secondary-based summer school program each year. Pre-K through 5 extended school year serve 4 groups of students, ESL, students who, although they failed reading, language arts, or math in grades pre-K through 5, could be promoted with successful remediation. Students in grades pre-K through 5 who needed remediation in reading, language arts, and/or math, and then students who are being retained because they did not meet the attendance regulations. There were 83 students enrolled in BCISD extended year pre-K through 5. And that information is on page 73. And then the rest of that 74 to about, let's see here, 84, those are all of the district and campus improvement plans and evaluations. And 74 really is the, I think it's 74, is kind of the overall, taking all of those, no, 75, sorry, 75 is taking all of those plans, and you can see the 5 goals, and those kind of just wrap up all of our campuses and districts in one summary there on page 75. Those are the goals set in our team of 8 training, and how each campus is working toward those goals. Usually the kids have the interest and go to find the sponsors, so. So all of those are in there, beginning with Corinne's on 87 and 88. And then Joseph. We've got the picture of the 2 new school buses there. We also got a new Ford Escape. Kind of a, we had teachers that were not comfortable driving a Suburban or Excursion. Maybe they drive a smaller car or a smaller SUV, and getting that is, you might as well put them in a bus. They didn't feel super comfortable. And so we got a good little 4-door Ford Escape with some good room in the back to haul some things around. So, easily 3 or 4 teachers could go to a conference in that and be a little more comfortable and just feel better about what they're driving. So then you see food service, and then all of our monthly calendars from our campuses. Does anybody, Joseph, or does anybody in the back have anything to expand on any of your reports, or do we have any questions for any of the directors?
I noticed the numbers on the home side. I had a few folks say they could find their seats. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, it's also in your packet. You can see how our numbers compare to last year's. District-wide, 3,120 students. This time last year, 3,085 students. Our ADA has creeped up, which we talked about last meeting. It's up to 95.35%. Our principals, that's another place that our principals are really, really working hard and working with the assistant principals to make sure that we have students in school. You look down the 19th, we have our board lunch tour at the high school. 21st is homecoming. You can see my session 3 of Thompson Leadership Academy in November, a regular board meeting November 14th. BCI Thanksgiving board lunch tour on the 16th, Thanksgiving break. And then deadline to complete the Bureau required trainings in child maltreatment and cybersecurity. That's November 30th. And then there's a reminder of the Visioning Conference in Austin, February 17th through the 19th. Those are the upcoming events. I wanted to quickly give you an update on our intruder detection audit findings. Both of our, both of the campuses that were assessed passed with flying colors. Again, the folks came in, we didn't know when they were coming in, we didn't know what campuses they were going to. The first campus was the high school, and then you guys know all the ins and outs of that high school, all the exterior doors. Probably, or not probably, it's our most challenging campus. Passed with flying colors. The person was not able to get in any door. And then came inside the school, was escorted around and could not get in any interior doors. One of the things, one of the places for just some extra looking at, I guess, is shops and weight rooms that need that ventilation. We have those big old doors open for ventilation for our students. And we just need to be reminded that we're actively monitoring those doors while we're in there during those times. The elementary campus, they, I believe, tried one door, and before they could try the second door, they were stopped by chief, and then went inside the elementary campus. And the only finding there was the expectation is that classroom doors are shut and locked. There's no black and white in the school safety world. There were a couple doors that were open, but there was not a soul in the room, no teachers and no students. And that was us. I mean, we said if there's no instruction going on, if there's no teachers, no students in the room, then leave that door open. So there were a couple of rooms that were open, but again, there was no teacher, no students, no instruction. Any rooms that had students and teachers in, all those doors were locked and they couldn't get in. So really good news on both of those campuses. And I know the middle school and intermediate would have performed just as well. The other thing I didn't have on here, because we just learned today, our TASB proposal has been accepted. So we will be at TASB in January. So that, we just found out today, very excited about that. And we begin working on that outline and what that's gonna look like here in the next couple of days. So that's all I've got, unless y'all got other, I mean, that is the bond. The bond one is accepted, the other one was not. Not sure why. I feel like the other one was in a category with there was a lot more in that category. I thought both proposals were really good, and both be voted on favorably this time